Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a second video. The other day we talked about intention and will, and we talked about how to set our intention and how to drive that home with will. And when that garbage, when somebody messes with us and that garbage starts coming up in us, our garbage starts welling up in us, we kind of, we want to jump back in the back of the garbage truck. And we talked about, letting those feelings go, working through those feelings. And yes, that is what we need to do. And it doesn't matter what the feelings are. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Those feelings that arise, whether it's eat the donut, drink the Coke, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. Get mad, get angry, get hurt, get resentful, whatever it is. I just felt led to say, sometimes saying just let it go, breathe through it, let it go, it's just not enough for somebody, for some people. And I know for a long time it wasn't enough for me. And that's why through the last couple of days, reflecting and meditating myself and prayer and just being felt like God led me to do the second video and say, or give you some action steps, just some steps in the direction of how to let it go. So everything I said in the first video, I stand behind. It's what I've done. It's how I have gotten through a lot of stuff in the last few years, and I just felt like it would help other people. So that being said, I wanted to go over the letting go part. I just wanted to let go, the letting go. How do you do that? Because I understand for some people that just seems like a huge mountain that they just can't see the top of, or they sure can't see over it. So, and what is letting go? So what does letting go mean? What does that actually mean? That actually means you got to surrender. You got to let whatever it is just be. So whatever mom did to irritate you, you just have to let mom be mom. Whatever the postman did to irritate you, you just got to let the postman be the postman. You can't control all of that. There's not much control that you have in this lifetime, except for the way that you act and react to life, to situations, to things around you. And so it's honestly letting go, letting it go, relaxing in the moment when those things come up and their stuff hits your stuff. It's an act of surrender. And we don't really like to surrender, do we? We don't really like to, that word is kind of uncomfortable. We don't really like that word. But I think if we practice surrendering, the act of surrendering, the act of letting it go, and that's just surrendering is saying, I don't have the ability to control that. I don't have the ability to control what Uncle Joe said about my son at Thanksgiving. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have the ability to control what he thinks, what he says, what he does, how he acts. None of it. I don't have control what the mailman does, thinks, says about delivering my package. I don't have the ability to control that. But we as humans think that we do. We have to have control. We have to control every aspect of our life. Everything has to be controlled. We have the ability. And I am the world's worst. I mean, y'all know me. Have y'all seen my gym? I'm a perfectionist. You ask Ebony, you ask my husband, you ask anybody that's worked for me. It's bad. It's bad. Y'all get to reap the benefits from it, but, you know, I have to keep it in check because I am a control freak and I want it to be a certain way. And it's been hard for me, and it's still hard for me. I'm not saying I got it down pat, because I don't. But I think just that little tidbit of thought, when when that stuff hits your stuff, when that stuff hits your garbage truck, and your garbage starts stinking and starts welling up in you, and you just stop and breathe through it, and really, I mean, you do. I mean, you have to like stop yourself, consciously get in the moment and say, that really is stirring me up. And do I have control over that? Do I have control over that situation, what that person said to me, what that car did, whatever? And if you don't, you have two choices. One, you can let it steal your joy. And that's what I really feel like God wanted me to say. Because that night I really thought about it. And I thought about a situation that had occurred that afternoon. And how I handled the situation. And we have the decision to let what other people do, what other people say, events in our lives, happenings in our lives, circumstances that come about, whether they're of our own doing or not, whatever they are, we have the ability to let them steal our joy or not. I read a good book years ago, and it helped me so much when I was really sick. You know, the days that I was in the bed and the days that I didn't leave the house. And, you know, I never lost my faith. I never lost hope. You know, me and God were very close. But this book was called The Joy That Lasts. And that's what it talks about. It talks about, and I think God just reiterated that. He brought that back to the forefront of my mind the other night after doing this video, and this circumstance came up, and a situation came up, and honestly, I didn't deal with it very well. I didn't lash out. I didn't do anything, you know, none of that stuff. But I just felt like in my body, I didn't deal with it well. I didn't deal with it, probably. You know what I'm saying? So I absorbed it. I thought about it. But I also, I want to say this. Have you ever, like, been around somebody and, like, their demeanor, their vibration, like, you can feel people's vibration. Like, when somebody enters a room, they either uplift you or they bring you down. Like, you feel that energy from them. And that's their vibration. You know, we as beings, we're energy beings. God put that in us. And we have lots of channels running through us, and it's lots of energy. And that energy can be really high and really, I mean, you know, you're just vibrating at a really high level, or it can be really low and you're vibrating at a really low level. And people really respond to that. And this situation, I just let the situation, I let it, instead of staying where I should have stayed at a high vibration where I was, because I was really feeling good that day, had done those videos, was just feeling on point and really centered, and just good about the day, and and it wasn't anything bad. It wasn't anything bad. It was just being. It was just this person being. But it was being here, and I was here, and I let them, instead of me staying here and letting them be who they needed to be, I came down to their level. Not that I said anything, did anything like that. I just came down here. I met them where they were. Nothing cross was said. I mean, you don't have to. You bring your vibration down. And I did that. I let that situation, that person had no intention, no nothing. It was nothing like that. It was just me being around them, and I absorbed, and I tend to do that because I'm very empathic. I just have like a lot of intuition. I have a lot of energy that flows, and I feel everything. I just feel energy all over the place. That's why I'm kind of one of those people, and that's like, woo, and so I can just feel that, and I have to be very aware that I can't allow that to happen. So that's what I'm saying. You know, we just have to be very, very conscious of the people around us, the events that are going on, what's happening. And just like I was saying, I felt like God was saying, you've got to refocus. You've got to make sure that you understand, and you tell everybody that listens to you, that wants to learn this, that wants to know this, that wants to be better, do better, have better relationships, feel better in their body, that we allow people, situations, things, circumstances to steal our joy every day. And we allow that. And we've got to not do that. Our joy comes from within. It comes from God above. And so if we understand that, if we have our intention set and our will is strong, we won't allow that. But we've got to be very conscious about it. That's what this video is about. So it's saying we have to set our intention. We have to have a very strong will to really drive that intention home. Be very solid, rock solid, hard. And yes, the results are to let things go, to surrender, to not let people, places, things, circumstances steal our joy. We have to let people be who they are and not try to change them, and not think that they're going to change. I tend to be one of those that thinks that if I do more, if I'm better, if I work hard enough, if I do whatever, that things will change. The circumstances will get better. And sometimes that might be true, but yeah, most of the time it's not. Especially if it's dealing with a person who's been that way for a very long time. More than likely, they are who they are, and they're not going to change. And you expecting them to change, or that circumstance to change, is probably going to bring your vibration really low and going to steal your joy while it's happening. And it's the definition of insanity. It's just a circle, a cycle that's going to continue. And I was on that cycle for a very long time. I'm speaking from experience. And so I understand it very well. So we have to practice surrender. And I want to, in the practice of surrender, I feel like there's two really crucial steps to surrendering. So I wanted to kind of give you some steps, kind of give you some action steps, tips, things that I do, that I practice, that I use daily. This is not something that you just snap your finger, happens, and you got it, and it's going to be this way forever, because it's just not. So The first step, I feel like, is you let go, and I'm going to read some of these just so I word it correctly, and then I'll kind of go back and explain. So you let go of the personal reactions of the like or the dislike. It could be something that you like, but it could definitely be something that you dislike, that you form inside your mind and your heart. So you let go of the personal reactions. So the way that you react to, let's just say, a dislike. So you're letting go of the way that you feel about it, the emotion that you feel about that particular event, happening, whatever, subject. You kind of detach yourself from it. And then, after you've had a minute to detach and you have a little bit of clarity, and you have to step back from a situation, because don't we all understand that when you're in the heat of a moment, or you're in, whatever, you have to kind of step back, and you kind of have to, breathe, and you kind of have to take a minute to find a little bit of clarity in the moment, so that you're able to make somewhat of a rational thought, come up with a rational thought. So you get a sense of clarity, and then you just simply look to see what is being asked of you in the situation. So what is unfolding, and what is this situation asking of me? Is it asking anything of me? It might not be. So we take a minute. We let go of the emotions and the feelings, your personal reaction to whatever the like or the dislike was. So you detach from it. You detach from, Mama got mad at me because I didn't come to Thanksgiving dinner, and she said something. I'm going to detach from that. I'm going to detach from that feeling and that thought. And then I'm going to ask myself, after I have had time to think about it, go over the situation, go over the conversation, detach from the emotions that I feel from what was said, what was done, all of that. And is the situation asking something of me? What's being asked in the situation? Is there something that I really, truly need to address in the situation? And it might not be. It might be, but then it truly might not be. Okay? So, we talked about, when our garbage comes up, we feel it, we sit with it, we breathe through it, we let it go. So we're talking about surrender. We're talking about a couple of steps that maybe we can do to help us get to the point that we can work through surrendering. So analyzing the situation, stepping back from the situation, asking ourselves questions. Is there something that I need to learn from the situation? Is there something that the situation is asking of me personally? We're just analyzing it. We're stepping back. We're taking a minute. We're getting clear. Okay, but you're still saying, okay, but really, how do I let it go? Like, how do I really let it go? And I agree with you, because I've got journals. I've got journal after journal that I journal and I write things down, and situations come up and I work through them and I answer the questions and I reflect and I do all of that. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that I do, that I have learned to do, that I've gotten pretty good at doing. And that's why this new building at the gym is so near and dear to my heart. Over the years, I have truly, truly become, very close with God. I don't think you can go through certain situations in your life that are scary, that you have no idea what the outcome's going to be. There was I can remember at the very end going, this is going to kill me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is, but I know I'm not going to survive it. And, those feelings are very scary. Even if you do know what it is, it's scary. We have problems with children. We have so many things in our lives that come up. I've had so many things with my kids. I've had so many things with my husband. I've had just stuff with my health, my family, my parents, my brother. There's lots of things that come up in our lives. Work situations, lots of things. So, and we just have to stay focused. And y'all hear my cat? He's going to come over here and bother us. We were doing so well. He's crying. So, I got extremely, extremely close with God on a daily, a lot of time, minute by minute. It was just a very, very special relationship. It is a very special relationship, in my opinion. And I would, they say in the Bible, ask and thou will receive, ask. And I feel like I did, but I don't know if I asked in the right way, in the right manner. So that's why I wanted to go over this part, because meditation, when I learned to meditate, like really meditate, and the way I started really being, and I prayed a lot and I journaled a lot and I poured my heart out and all that, and over situations, over circumstances, over children, over whatever, husband's work, whatever it was. And I was good at that. But I still feel like I had a sense of control over it. That control thing. I didn't really surrender it. I really didn't surrender myself, my heart, my soul, my mind. I didn't really get at that place. And meditation has helped me get at that place. And I was one of those ones that was like, I can't meditate. I cannot do that. This mind is always going. And it is. Those unconscious thoughts are constantly popping. I'm like all the time. But when I really learned, and over the years I've practiced this, and the yoga, because over the years I've done yoga, and yoga really helps still me. It helps clear my mind. It helps center me. So that practice has helped me a lot, because as far as I'm concerned, yoga is a meditation. For me, it's a meditation, and I feel like for a lot of people that really take it seriously, it really is. It's definitely a practice in meditation for me. It centers my mind, it centers my body, it rebalances me. It just does so much for me. But then when I really, really got serious with truly meditating, that has been the thing that's really made the difference. So meditation, basically, if I had to explain it to you, it's just being conscious. It's being conscious of what you're actually thinking. And I know you say, well, you're not supposed to be thinking anything. You know, it's kind of funny because when I meditate, I'm still thinking. My mind, your mind, you know, we talked about the other day about the garbage truck and how the mind thinks all kinds of crazy things, and it tells you to let go of the wheel and jump in the back and do all kinds of crazy things. It tells you to, you know, push the other car off the road. You know, I mean, it tells you to just blurt out something. I mean, it just, you know, the mind, it's just like, blah. Crazy thoughts. Those are subconscious thoughts. Those are your mind just blah. That's just your mind. Your mind's constantly chatter. It's just constantly chatter. Okay? So when you meditate, you're being very mindful. You're being very deliberate. You're slowing the mind. You're slowing those thoughts. Oop, my phone's ringing. Sorry, forgot to cut the ringer off. And so you're slowing the process, and in that process, you'll become very still. You'll become very deliberate. And I'll tell you how I do that. So how I'm able, when I first start meditating, I usually start with a prayer. So I'm praying to God to still my mind, center me, help me focus. I also, this is just me personally, but I'm going to just tell you, I'm just going to open up and I'm going to tell you what I think. I feel like we are beings of will, and God created us that way. He created us with will. We've been talking about will. We've been talking about intention. He created us as having free will. We have the ability to do whatever we want to do. We go where we want. We do what we want. We pick what religion we want. Whatever. And so we are beings of free will. And God is not going to, I think this is where the prayer for me all these years kind of went awry a little bit, because I asked God a lot of things, and I'm not saying that he didn't answer them or didn't answer them. Some things he doesn't answer, but I'm just saying, I think when I became very deliberate in how I started my meditations, I started them with asking God for his intercession, for intercession to intercede in my life. I gave him permission to do that. I gave him permission because I just feel like God's not going to intercede in your life. He's not going to do it unless you give him permission to do it. I mean, seriously. If you want to stay an alcoholic, he's going to let you stay an alcoholic. He's not going to intercede, even though he loves you and wants more for you and all of these things, and he doesn't want to see you hurt. You're his child. You are a free will being. He created you that way. He gave you that. He gave us all that. So what made the difference for me was I start every day. Every day I meditate before I start my day, and I always start every day with saying, God, I give you permission to intercede in my life, to bring into my life what you feel I need to know, who needs to be around me, who I need to be around. I also pray and ask and invite him to bring about any spiritual beings that he feels need to be around me. His spirit, his angels, whatever spiritual guides that he feels are necessary to help me be the kind of person that he wants me to be, and to help the people and be of service to people. I ask for that, I ask for that intercession from him, from them and his spirits, what he sees fit for me in my life. And I also, any questions that I ask of him, I ask that they come to me in a manner that I'm able to understand, that I'm able to clearly and distinctly get the gist of how he's answering my questions. So I'm very clear, I'm very deliberate. That's, I think, the difference in all of the years and now. And things have become extremely, extremely clear to me. So I feel like I'm doing it better. I feel like I'm doing it right. Doors are opening. My mind's opening. My spirit's opening. Those energy channels are opening. I feel a lot more clear. And so, but it's just crazy how I felt like I was doing that, but really I wasn't truly, I didn't have true intent. My intent became very clear. This is what my intention is, dear Lord. This is what I need. This is what I'm asking. This is what I want. This is what I'm saying I'm allowing into my life. I'm opening this door. And when I opened that door, my meditation just exponentially changed. And so I just want to say that maybe that might help you. And I understand maybe we might not see things eye to eye. Maybe we don't feel the same way about it. But I'm very spiritual. I'm very religious. I believe in God. I believe in his spirits. I believe in angels. I believe in all of it. And I'm very intuitive. And I just know for me it's been the right thing. And so speaking about meditation, I think, like I said, opening your meditation up with some sort of spiritual, I don't know if you believe in God or what you believe in, but just opening that door up for those energies to work with you is a good place to start. And I want to give you just a few pointers for a meditation practice. So for me, at first, when I first started feeling some of these things in meditation, it wasn't really scary. It's never been scary to me because I have such faith in God that I feel very grounded and rooted in that God's not going to bring anything to me that's not right for me, that's evil, that's whatever. So I'm very, very clear on that. So it was never scary for me, but it was some things that I had to work through and try to understand. I'll say that. And so when you're meditating, there is a feeling. You have to feel the energy. I mean, it is an energy that comes about. So you might be laying, like when we do yoga, we go into corpse pose at the end, and I'm really, when I teach yoga as a meditative practice. I teach it that you need to feel it in your soul. You know, it's a very deep spiritual thing for me. I mean, it really is. And that's the way I teach it. So when you do yoga, even poses and like I said, vinyasa yoga is what I like. And Shatanga, can't say it. Shatanga? Can't say it. My mind went blank. Ashtanga, sorry. Which is more of, just really more intense vinyasa flow, Ashtanga. It's an energy. It starts making that energy flow. You are an energy being. God made you of energy. That's what you are. So that energy is going to flow, and it flows from your head to your from your crown all the way to your root. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in the coming weeks. But I just want you to understand that that's what yoga does. So it releases some of that energy. So a lot of that garbage we're talking about, it starts bringing up some of that garbage because that energy starts flowing. You might even kind of start feeling like little tingly, little this, little that, like almost kind of like a nervous littleness or something. That's all that is energy. That's just your energy to start flowing. And when you really start meditating, you might feel that energy. So you just have to, the second point is allow it to flow. You have to relax and settle into it and welcome it. Get. Trying to get my cat to go on. He likes to come lay in my lap. You've got to feel that energy, and then you've got to allow that energy to flow. You've got to welcome it and not be afraid of it. I've talked to a couple of people, and they're like, I don't think I can go where you go because that's scary to me. That feels like, but what is that? What is that feeling scary to me? What is that? That's, you feel like you're losing control. But we don't have control. You don't want to have control over this. You want to open yourself up to the possibility that God's going to be able to work with you and speak with you and guide you and give you some intuition to know whether a situation is good for you or not. So you cannot feel that. You will never feel that if you're constantly hanging on to it, if you're constantly controlling it, if you've got a tight grip on it, you're holding on to that wheel, you gotta let go of that control. And so you feel the energy, you allow it to flow, you feel it, you welcome it, you let it in, you relax in it. When you feel it, you just relax in it. It's not scary. You welcome it. You know it's godly. You know it's of God. That was initially my thing is, God, I know this is you. And I'm just going to lay in it, and I'm going to relax in it, and I'm going to allow it to enter me, and I'm just going to allow it to flow. And that's just what it is. So then the energy moves, and like we said, it's a flow, it's a movement, so you need to understand it can run up and down your spine because your chakras are all the way up and down your spine. They started, actually your aura is all around you. We're going to talk more about chakras, but you're an energy being. So you have an aura, you have a crown chakra, you have a third eye, you have a throat chakra, you have a heart chakra, solar plexus, a sacral at your abdomen, and then you have a root. So there's 7, 8 with your aura, and they run all the way down your center. And it's just energy that flows, and it flows up. A lot of times you'll feel that energy. You can be sitting in meditation, and you'll feel that energy just come all the way up that spine. You'll feel it. If you allow it, you'll feel it. And your mind, that's the thing, is that your mind, even though your mind could still be thinking like the mind does, the mind likes to chatter and likes to think and likes to say stuff. If you'll just still sit there, just let it be, feel that energy, you'll start feeling it. A lot of times you'll just feel it rise. You'll feel that little tingling in your fingers, or you'll feel it in your spine. You'll feel it in your toes. And it could just be a little tingling. It could be like a little feeling like you're nervous, like a little jittery. It could be lots of things. And you just have to pay attention to it, but allow it to do what it wants to do. Just allow it. Just allow it to be. When you're doing your yoga, same thing. Be meditative. Be very deliberate. But open your mind, open your body, open your heart, all of your chakras to just be. Let it be. And then you can also, I enter into a lot of dialogue when I'm meditating. So I'm asking the universe lots of questions. I'm asking God lots of questions. You know, I'm just a chatty person. So if I want to know something, if I need clarity, if I'm struggling with something, and it's funny because sometimes, and God knows exactly me, He knows exactly you, He knows our nature, He knows how we handle things, He knows exactly how to deal with us. And I can be in meditation and I can be just so distressed, and I'm just begging God for an answer, and I'm just saying, please, please, just tell me, just help me. And in my meditation, I'm quiet and calm, but in my mind, I'm talking to Him, and I'm just struggling with this. And you know what He does? Most of the time, if I'm in that state of mind, He puts me to sleep. Out like a light. And I'm a very deep meditator. I've learned and done it enough now, and am able to just really get into that place that I can just really go deep into meditation. And so I can meditate for I can meditate for hours. I really can. I've gotten pretty good at it. But if I'm in that state and I'm really, really, and He knows I'm at that agitated state, and I'm meditating, but I'm at that agitated state, and I'm just really wrestling with Him. I'm wrestling with Him is what I'm doing. I'm trying to control it is what I'm doing. And my mind is really trying to take over, and this mind thing, and He's not going to have it. And literally, I'll go to sleep. So He just puts me out and says, we're not doing this. And it never fails. It never fails. It's almost getting funny to me because He knows exactly how to deal with me. But then, like I said, that dialogue, you can ask those questions, and you can just, and it's so funny because if you learn to feel the energy, if you learn to allow it to flow, if you settle into it, you don't let it scare you. You let it move. You let it move through those chakras. You let it move through you. You let it move up. Let it move down. Let it move where it wants to go, and just settle in, and not get scared. Not get scared of what it's going to bring up. Not what emotions might come up. Whatever. You just settle into it, and you surrender into it. That dialogue, you'll be surprised because you'll get some answers to probably some things that you've been asking. You'll have a little bit more clarity. You'll be able to hear quite a bit more clearly. We have so much chatter and so much stuff, and we never still our minds to hear. We're asking. I've asked God. How many times have I asked Him? I am faithful. I ask Him. But do you calmly give Him a space where He can come to you and answer you? Do we give Him that? We don't. Most of the time we don't. Now, not saying that there's not little secret, what do they call them? I can't pronounce it. I'm terrible with pronunciations, but things that happen, like a lot of times it's like you ask something and then you go, oh, well, that was the answer, or it's funny, that happens to me all the time. I'll pray something, or I'll write in my journal, or it'll be something on my mind or whatever, and I'll pull up Facebook, or I'll pull up something on YouTube, and the first thing is it's the answer to my question, or it's something that's relating to that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Synchronicities, I think, is the word I was trying to say. Synchronicities. It's just like, oh, okay, I see. But meditation allows you to see all of that stuff. So we're driving our garbage truck, we got all this stuff, their stuff hits our stuff, our garbage comes up, but we know how to deal with it. We know we have to stop, we have to reflect, we have to ask questions, we take it to meditation, We ask God for his intercession. We think about it. The next day, things come to us because we've opened our mind to it. We've reflected on it. We've stood back from it. Like I said, we've given God a chance. We've given his angels, his guides, whoever he sees fit to come to me and help me through this life. We've given them an opportunity to help us. We've given them an opportunity. So those are a few things, I want to say too, when you're talking about dialogue, when you're in meditation and you get into meditation and you'll get better and better and better at it. But sometimes it's helpful to say something to yourself. So a lot of times I have to tell myself to relax because I'm one of those people. I'm one of those, like I said, sometimes I'm talking to God and I'm like, come on, tell me the answer. Let's go. And I have to center myself, relax. A lot of times it's relax. A lot of times it might be, I'll say, dear Lord, just please let the energy flow. Just please let the energy flow. Open me up. Open me up for you to be able to fill me with what you want me to know. What do you want me to know? What do you want me to feel? How do you want me to do this, handle this? So it's a lot of that. It's be still, relax, open my mind, allow me to go into deep meditation. There's some days I just feel like I need to meditate deeper. Like I just feel like I want to go deeper. And I just say, dear Lord, please just let me go deep today. Just let me go so far within myself. Just let me, because for me it's rest. It's rest. It allows me to rest. My mind is so busy, gym, this, that, who I need to call back, I need to do this, I need to do that, I got to do this, and the new building, and this, and this, and this, and I owe this person, whatever. And then I still have my family. And so for me, it's a place of rest. It's become a place of solitude. It's a place that I love to come. I love to do it. And I make deliberate time for it every day. Every day. I start my day with it most of the time. So a lot of times I get up at 3:30 to be at the gym. And a lot of times I'm up at 2 meditating because I like to meditate for about an hour at least before, because I can just get lost in meditation. I can. If I don't have anything to do in a day and I start meditating and I know I don't have anything to do, I can get lost for hours. I mean, just hours. It's crazy. But I just let myself, the days that I do that, I just let myself because I know that I needed it. I just needed the rest. And I'm not sleeping. I'm meditating. But I know that I just need that time. So, and for me, it's grounding. It just helps me so much. So, let's talk about, I want to talk about a little bit more about meditation, and I think this will help you too. Because breathing, I talk about breathing a lot. If you come to my yoga class, breathing is a big, big part of yoga. In my opinion, it should be. I don't care what kind of yoga you do. But breathing will help your meditation practice. It will help that energy start flowing. So deep breathing, and it also helps fill the heart. So that heart chakra gets blocked, and there's just we're going to talk about chakras soon. But it really does, I got lipstick going everywhere. But it really does, you get blockages, and you'd be shocked how that really affects you. It can affect you health-wise. Those, I know y'all have heard of acupuncture, kind of the same thing as far as it's not, there's chakras and then there's meridians. It's kind of a different, but kind of the same thing as far as energy flow within the body. So breath helps a lot of times break through those blockages, helps release that energy and helps that flow some. That's why the yoga poses, the flowing with the yoga poses helps move that energy. It helps break up some of those blockages, because all those emotions that we stuff down, all those feelings, all those things that happen, we stuff and we pack into our garbage truck. That's what blocks all of this, all of those chakras. And we want them to be open. We want them flowing. We want to be happy beings. We want to be joyful. We want good health. And if we don't get a grasp of this, those things are not going to happen. Like I talked the other day about the body holds the score. The body holds the score. If you have health issues, if you have mental things that are going on, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, drug addiction, whatever, you have blocked chakras. You have energy that's blocked that needs to flow, and it just starts decaying the body. It just does. So this is so important. It's such an important practice for people to learn. So breathing deep. So really, when I teach breathing, I call it ocean breathing. It's called, you breathe in, so your stomach comes out when you breathe in. So when you inhale, your stomach flows out, and when you exhale, your stomach floats in. So I know you can't see my stomach good because I left my stand at the gym, so I'm having to prop up my camera. So, but let's see if I can sit up a little bit where you can see me. So, it's breathe in, breathe out. That stomach floats in. Breathe in, out. Breathe in, breathe out. As you continue to breathe, you bring that breath more and more and more into your heart. So it's when you exhale completely. So you breathe in, the ocean breathing comes from, it sounds like the ocean, so I'm doing it very loud where maybe you can hear me. So you can do it without doing it, out loud once you learn to do it. But this is breathing that I teach people when they come to my yoga class. We breathe through every pose, in and out of every pose. So it helps, and it's just, it calms the mind, very calming to the mind. Another thing that will help you, and like I said, bring that energy up into that heart. So you're bringing that breath really up high. You're bringing it up high. If you can bring it up higher, bring it up high. And if you can hold it for a little bit where you're holding that energy, and then you breathe out. But when you breathe out, let it go completely. You're breathing completely out. So you're filling those lungs full, and then you're really, really getting rid of all of that breath. emptying that lung completely. Okay. What was I going to say? There was another thought I had as far as breathing and meditation. I didn't write it down because it just came to me. Well, it'll probably come to me again here in just a second. I guarantee it will. So I just think this is a really great, gave you some great action steps. Because I just felt like telling you to let it go was just a little bit vague. So I really felt a need to go a little bit deeper with that. And I wanted to give you some action steps, some things to do. Like I said, the breathing is wonderful. It's so good for meditation. I know what I was gonna say was I listened to drumming too, and now I can do meditation without any sound, so quiet, dark, that kind of thing. But I can do that as well. But also, there's sometimes when I'm maybe just had a lot going on or something. The drumming, they call it shamanic drumming, but it's a rhythmic drumming beat, so it keeps a certain rhythm, and it's really great. So those of you that have trouble sleeping at night, we have alpha and beta, and what do we have? All those waves. I think that's what they're called. And you have to get into a certain wavelength for your mind to slow down to be able to go to sleep. And some people's minds never come to that certain wavelength. They stay up here on busy doing thinking wavelength, and you need it to come here. Well, shamanic drumming or a drumming beat, I know shamanic drumming is what I listen to just because I think it goes from 4 to 7 hertz, and that's even lower than what I think it's beta wavelengths that we need for sleep. I'll have to look that up, but alpha and beta, I think. But anyway, I've researched it, and it's just, there's so much in this mind. It's hard to get it all out, but and get it straight. But the shamanic drumming is a certain beat and a certain sound and a certain rhythm that goes even below that. And so what it does is it helps balance the brain waves, and it helps balance the brain, the frontal lobes, and it helps calm the mind. So you're able to fall deeper and deeper and deeper into rest and into calm and into relaxation and into that meditative state that you need to be in. It also gives you a rhythm and a beat to focus on. So you're not necessarily listening to all the chatter in your mind. You're listening to the beat and the sound and the rhythm and the motion of the drumming. And it's a constant beat. And so those of you that have trouble sleeping, try it. Seriously, try it. Because I've got to where, it's funny, I've got to where on my way home from work, my days are so crazy. I start them so early. I don't leave the gym a lot of times, at least until 6:45, 7. Last night it was later than that. It was like 7:45, 8, and coming home. And so I turn on the drumming on my way home. So what it does is that 15-minute drive it soothes my mind. It just calms me down. It helps me just slow down my minds from the day, the thoughts, and I just get in. And a lot of times I'll sit in the driveway for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and just listen to it and just calm my mind to get myself ready to go in, get my dinner, see Andy, do my evening, whatever I do, and get ready for bed. And it's crazy how just that little practice of being in the car and just listening to that helps me just calm down and recenter. So try it. I mean, it really might help. And I can put a link up to that, the one that I use. But it definitely helps in meditation. So I would try that. A lot of times, like yesterday when I did my yoga class, that's what we did our yoga to. We did it to shamanic drumming. And it's just the beat is so soothing. It's just soothing to the mind. It's soothing to the body. And it's so crazy because as soon as it starts, I have gotten so good at it that energy just starts flowing. Like I feel it just starts. It's like this tingling, and it's like this nervous energy I just start feeling it, and it just comes up my spine. I mean, it's like I feel it. And sometimes I can't have it on all the time because it's like my body, I've just gotten so used to that energy and feeling that energy, and that energy feeling me, and flowing, that it energizes me sometimes. So but during meditation, it's just really a great way to get you calm. So those are just some tips. So the breathing and really bringing that breath into the heart, and the drumming and listening and having a mantra. So something that you say: relax, open up, calm down, center, those things. So anything that you tell yourself, those things are great things to do to help relax you and get you more deeper into meditation. And my last tip is just be patient with yourself. It takes some time. And like I said, I've been trying to do this for years. And I've just really, in the last couple of months, gotten so much better at it. But like I said, my intention changed, the way that I talk, the way that I think, just everything kind of shifted. So I became quite a bit more intentional in my practice, and made all the difference in the world. So I hope this has helped, and I hope that you've enjoyed the videos, and I'm going to continue to expand on them. And if you have any questions, and please just tell me what you think. Let me know, because it helps me feel like I'm going in the right direction and that I'm making sense. And I love to hear from you. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.